Assalamualaikum dear learners, welcome all of you again to this online English class brought to you by Government Ashik Mahmud College, Jamalpur. I'm Atul Gunusmani with you. Dear learners, you know in our previous class we were talking about question number 9, the uses of modifier, but we could not complete it. So this is the second part of that very same lecture, and in this very part of the lecture we will try to complete the rest of the items which are important to solve this very question, the uses of modifier. Dear learners, before going to our main activities, let's know in brief what we have done or learned in our previous class. In our previous class, we talk about what is modifier, function of modifier, types of modifier, function of adjectives, function of adverb, and analyze some parts of a sample question. And I hope all of you have seen the first part of the lecture and have learned all these very items. Now dear learners, we will learn some more items, and after this very lecture I think that you will not have any problem to solve this very question. Dear learners, we know in our previous lecture we have learned about that all the modifiers function either an adjective or adverb. So it is very important to know about which elements are used as adjective, because that whenever we'll go for solving the question of using modifier, that we must use either an adjective or adverb. So if we have clear ideas about the elements which are used as adjective, then it will be easier for us to solve the question. Okay, so let's take again some example from the sample question. Here you see we have taken the example number D and example number I here. Let's read it. He wrote ceaselessly until the death of poetic flair. Here you see the direction is for you is use possessive pronoun, and example I, it's written he was secular poet. Okay, so he was secular poet. The direction is use a determiner. So to solve this question, that we have to know that possessive pronoun and we have to know about determiner. Okay, so what's determiners? Determiners are words which comes at the beginning of the noun phrase, and we have already learned what is phrase. A phrase is a group of words, a noun phrase is a group of words which function as noun, and determiners tell us whether the noun phrase is specific or general. Here you see a list of determiners, and among them the article is also one of them. So article, demonstrative, possessive, quantifier, numbers, ordinal, distributives, all these very items are used as determiner. And one thing you should remember, all the determiners used as adjective, or all the determiners function as adjective. So you see in question number D we are asked to use a possessive pronoun. So here you see the possessive, and these are the example of possessive pronoun: my, our, dear, your, his, her, its. Okay, they indicates the ownership, or when something is belongs to someone we say it like this: he is the possessor or he is the owner of these very things. So possessive pronouns indicating kind of ownership or possessorship. So if the question is like this, use possessive pronoun, then you may use this very example. Here he is the subjective pronoun and the possessive pronoun of he will be his. So the probable answer will be like this: he wrote ceaselessly until the death of his poetic flair. Here he is naturally a possessive pronoun. And in I, he was secular poet, use a determiner. So all these very items are determiner. So you may use here an articles, because articles are also used as determiner. So probable answer is like this: he was a secular poet. Dear learners, I think it's now clear to us that all the determiners are used as a. Dear learners, that this time we will learn a different type of adjectives, and name of this one is noun adjective, and very often that you have to face this type of question that you will be asked to use a noun adjective. Okay, let's see a sample question. His literary works have enriched literature. Here you see the direction is written here like use a noun adjective to pre-modify the noun. So now the question is that what actually a noun adjective. As we know that a noun is the name of a person, place or things, and adjective is word that describe a noun. So function of adjective to describe a noun, but what actually the function of a noun adjective? Okay, yeah, let's see some example here. You see that clever is an adjective and black is also an adjective, and they are describing the noun teacher and horse. Clever teacher, black horse. But sometimes we use a noun to describe another noun. So very important things it's here, you should remember that sometimes we use a noun to describe another noun. In that case, the first noun acts as an adjective. Okay, that when we use a noun to describe another noun, the first noun acts as an adjective, and this is why that very noun is called noun adjective. Let's see some example. Here you see that history is a noun, story is also a noun, flower is a noun, and pencil is a noun. But all these very noun are used in this very case as a noun adjective because they are telling something or describing another noun. Like history is describing the noun teacher, and story is describing the book and it's become storybook, and flower is describing garden, it's become flower garden, and pencil is describing box and it's become pencil box. Okay, though these all are noun but they are describing another noun, this is why this noun is called noun adjective. So I think now it's clear to you that if the question is like this use a noun adjective, then you must use a noun to describe another noun. Let's see the probable answer of this very question. His literary works have enriched Bengali literature. Here Bengali is a noun and it's telling something about literature. Okay, this is why Bengali is called noun adjective. Hope it's clear to you. Okay, dear learners, now we will talk about another type of adjective, and the name is participle. In modifier section, that sometimes that you have to face this type of question that use a participle. Let's see an example. He took his pen to uphold the position of people. Here inside the bracket the direction is given for you is use a participle to pre-modify the noun. Okay, so you have to modify this very noun people with a participle. Now the question is that what is participle? A participle is an adjective made from a verb. So you see all the participle what you will use as a modifier, they are adjective, and participle are made from a verb. In English language there are three types of participle, like present participle, past participle, and another one is perfect participle. Verb ending with ing are known as present participle. You see here crying, painting, burning, working, all the verb has ing with it, and they are working here as a participle because they are telling something or describing a noun. Here crying is describing this very baby and it's become crying baby, and burning is describing this very noun house and it's become burning house, and painting show, the painting is describing this very noun show, so it's become painting show, and working woman. So working is describing the noun woman. So you see that this very present participle working here as an adjective. Okay, and we are very familiar with past participle from the very school life that we are memorizing them, like eat, ate, eaten, write, wrote, written. Okay, play, played, played. Yeah, written, written, played are participle. Okay, here is some example of past participle. You see the broken, we know the break, broke, broken. Okay, broken is just here describing this very noun window, and it becomes broken window. Then excited, excited about dinner, happy, ran the whole way home. Here describing this noun happy, and that how is happy, she is very excited. Okay, here excited is a participle, and we know it is past participle. And broken glass, and it's modifying the noun glass. It is why broken is also a modifier. So all the participle that work as a modifier and they act as an adjective. Okay, so now I think that it will be easier for you now, that whenever the question will be like this, use a participle, that you may use either present participle or past participle according to the situation of the question. Okay, so now let's see the probable answer of this very question. He took his pen to uphold the position of poor and deprived or oppressed people. You see that you may write any of them, no need to write both, just write only one answer here. So here you see deprived is a past participle, and it's modifying this very noun people. So deprived people, or you can say oppressed people. So participle is an adjective, and this time we will talk about a very interesting grammar item, and it's a positive. Let's take another example from the sample question. Okay, and it is in C. It's written, Kazi Nazrul won the attention of everyone in his childhood. Here the direction is for you, use an appositive. So you have to use an appositive. Now question may arise, what is an appositive? An appositive is a noun or a noun phrase that sits next to another noun to rename or identify it or to describe it in another way. Okay, so appositive sits beside or next to another noun, and purpose is to rename that very noun or to identify it or to describe being that very noun in another way. Here is an example. You see, Edison is often called US's greatest inventor. Okay, so if we want to describe Edison or in another way, or if we want to identify Edison in another way, that the noun or noun phrase what we will use, it will be an appositive. You see here, the inventor of the light bulb. Okay, so here is the information about Edison, and there is very extra information what we are getting here is known as appositive. Okay, so remember that an appositive can be a single word or several words. Always use to it commas. Okay, you see that here this very part is written in the middle of two commas. Okay, so let's see the probable answer of this very question. Now, Kazi Nazrul, the poor boy, the national poet. Then we will talk about easy types of modifier named intensifier. Okay, let's take an example from the sample question. Okay, his songs are melodious. Here the direction is use an intensifier to pre-modify the adjective. Okay, so you see that you have to use an intensifier now. Now see that what is intensifier. A word that gives force or emphasis to a statement. So remember this very part. Intensifier is a word that gives force or emphasis to a statement. Or to the meaning of a verb, adjective or other adverb is called intensifier. Okay, so to give emphasis or to give importance to a statement or give a very powerful meaning to a verb, adjective or another adverb, that the word what we use that are known as intensifier. Okay, so here are some example for you. Let's read them. I disagree. You see, it's a statement, and I strongly disagree. It's also a another statement. Okay, so between these two, I strongly disagree is giving us more powerful meaning. So it is hot in Africa, and another one, it is extremely hot in Africa. The second one is giving us more powerful message, that is, it is extremely hot in Africa. So the word extremely here used as intensifier. Do you mean it or do you really mean it? Okay, so between these two, the second one giving us more powerful message, that do you really mean it. So the word really here is an intensifier. So like strongly, extremely, really, fairly, quite, pretty, absolutely, a little. Okay, so these all words are giving force or emphasis or making the statement much more powerful. This is why they are called intensifier. Okay, so now I think that you can easily solve this very question. Let's see the probable answer. His songs are very melodious. Here you see very, that we may say his songs are melodious, but to give more powerful meaning that we are using here very. So here very is an intensive, because now we will talk about infinitive, and it is very important grammar items in modifier section, because one or two option you will get related to modifier, related to infinitive here. Let's take example before talking about infinitive. He composed his songs. Inside the bracket it's written here, use an infinitive phrase to post modify the verb. Here we have to modify the verb composed, and the direction here is use an infinitive phrase. So to know about infinitive phrase, first we have to know about infinitive. An infinitive is formed from a verb but not act as a verb. Okay, you see that infinitive is formed from a verb, but it does not work as a verb. It acts as a noun, adjective or adverb. Okay, and it actually made up of two words, to plus base form of a verb. Okay, so to form an infinitive, that we have to use a to with the base form of a verb. Okay, so let's see some example of infinitive. Here, to go, to eat, to play, to write, to buy, to sing. So all are the examples of infinitive. And now come to infinitive phrase. An infinitive phrase starts with an infinitive. It means the phrase which starts with an infinitive is called an infinitive phrase. Here you see, to build a nation, it's a phrase, and it is infinitive phrase because it starts with an infinitive. To do well in exam, and it's also another infinitive phrase, and it also starts with an infinitive to do. So dear learners, that one thing that we should remember, that is, words that are formed from verbs but don't act as a verb are called verbal. Okay, so in the same way that infinitive is also a kind of verbal. In English language there are other two types of verbal. They are gerunds, and another one is participle. Okay, so it's now very easy for us to solve this question, that here we have to use an infinitive phrase, and we have already learned what is an infinitive phrase. Let's see the probable answer. He composed his song to inspire the nation, or to encourage the people. You may write any one of them, no need to write more than one answer. So here you see that to inspire the nation and to encourage the people, both are infinitive phrase, because both the phrase starts with infinitive, to inspire and to encourage. Now dear learners, we have already come to the end of our today's lesson. Hope what we have talked here today, it will be very effective and helpful for you, and now it will be easier for you to solve the question, the uses of modifier. Wishing you all the very best. Thank you for watching.